Daria Mircea. I'm a business development manager and senior workplace architect at Bright Spaces, a prop tech company developing 3D digital twins for enhancing office marketing and leasing for office developers. Today I'm joined by Mihai Paduroiu, CEO of Office Division at One United Properties, which is
Hello.
the first developer to have its full office portfolio digitalized through our solution. Mihai, thank you for joining me today. And first of all, I would love to have you say a few words about One United and about your role as leader of the Office Division, which is a very important part of the group's operations.
First of all, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to see you again. One United Properties is the leading sustainable mixed-use developer in Romania. It's a listed company since 2021, so almost 2 years now. Currently, we have a very strong pipeline, over 27 projects under different stages of development, and we have activity across most of the asset classes, ranging from prime residential, prime office, commercial, and very recently hotels. My role within One United Properties is to manage the commercial portfolio, as we call it, which today consists mainly of 6 office assets, 1 shopping center, and 3 hotels under development.
That's impressive, and we know that you're always on the look to create new landmark projects. Tell me, what are some of the elements that you focus on as a premium real estate developer, seeing the context of tenant expectations changing so much in the last years, to create a great experience with your real estate projects?
Actually, this is a great point because the pandemic has completely reshuffled the priorities on the corporate agenda, but also on our agenda as a developer, investor, and asset manager. Today, I would say our main focus is around sustainability and building communities. Regarding sustainability, we have always been, I would say, leaders in adopting and implementing green technologies and innovative technologies that either generate more efficiency, savings, lower the carbon footprint, and so on. And this has been part of the company's DNA since inception, basically. Of course, this trend has been accelerated by the pandemic because now the corporate agenda has prioritized certified, green, healthy workplaces. Therefore, all of our workplaces, all of our office assets are both certified under LEED or BREEAM standard as a high-performing green building, but also under the WELL standard and recently under LEED Zero Carbon. And we are constantly striving to adopt new technologies in order to enhance the sustainability. One aspect is the geo-exchange solutions that we are now implementing all throughout our new developments, which basically mean that the HVAC system of the building relies entirely or almost entirely on the geothermal energy produced by the earth. And this is a very complex, expensive technology, but today it has become more and more feasible to adopt, especially in large-scale mixed projects. Regarding building communities, we've started 2 years ago a very strong initiative which is called One Community. It's an initiative very close to my heart, we are investing a lot in this, and I'm proud to say that we are the first real sustainable community on the market. Basically, this community provides a set of benefits either to the residents or the end users within an office building, the employees, ranging from discounts to various retail outlets, restaurants, and so on. But also, we are building a lot of events and trainings, and we are actually looking to deliver real value within this community.
Yeah, I think these are two important points, being always with an open eye to new technologies and how to implement them to create exceptional experience, but also never forgetting the human side, which means that people need to connect within
Exactly.
a building or a project. You were the first client to adopt Bright Spaces for your entire office portfolio. So what convinced you to make that decision back then, being the pilot, the innovator?
Wow! Now, when I think about it, it was quite a leap of faith for us because the pandemic had just started. Yeah. Bright Spaces was just a very young startup, so it was a vote of confidence, let's say. But I'm really happy we made that choice, and we stuck together since then, and we developed the platform so much since then, because, well, I love the technology. That was one of the main drivers that I would remind. For us, it's very important to be able to showcase the way the buildings will look, the way they will interact with the vicinities, with the community, and many other facilities of the asset. And I saw this platform as being a great opportunity, very easy to access, very dynamic, to help us showcase, let's say, going from print to digital, because this is right. What it was. Yeah. Before the platform, we were using mainly print in order to showcase properties, and now we're using mainly digital, and that was the moment when we made the shift. And as I said, it was a leap of faith, also because of the context at that time, which was very particular at the beginning of the pandemic. But also another factor was the team. Bogdan and the team were so involved into this and invested both emotionally, operationally, financially, that really made it very mature in a way, although it was a startup. So yeah.
Yeah, we're really happy to be on this journey, because it is a journey, like yes. You said. It just was taking a leap of faith starting it, but then once we got together on the same road, it was only a matter of developing and seeing what the best way to grow together is. You've spoken about the general context of using it. Can you maybe give me a little insight, punctual insight into where exactly in the processes or activities you feel this has had the most impact?
So as I said, the most proeminent and visible, let's say, benefit at that time, and still today probably, is the ability to showcase. In corporate real estate, you are lucky to deal with an, let's say, educated audience when discussing a property like an office building and its facilities, its technical specifications, floor layouts, and so on. But when you take it to the other members of that organization, it becomes a very different discussion, and more often it becomes a challenge because people basically are not familiar with construction in general, and they're not able to visualize the end result. And mainly we are now talking about buildings which are under construction or even under planning, which is a big part of our business. Usually most of the leasing process is finalized before the commissioning of the building, so before completion. Then you need a really good tool in order to showcase to everyone in an organization the floor layout, the facade, the way you enter the building, the way you exit, the underground parking, all the other technical specifications, distances, fit out, and being able to show this in a 3D dynamic way, which is fully accessible to anyone just by hitting a link, is something that I know it sounds very easy and accessible, but in reality it was a big game changer, not only for us, for the entire industry. So I still believe this is the main benefit of the platform. Now, going forward, as you said, the platform is constantly evolving and changing. You know, we are implementing add-ons and new images, animations. Now we're building the 3D environment of the neighborhood and so on. It's a 24/7 job, and especially in the last year, since we started working with the big 3D models, I think it's really progressing towards a more immersive experience for the end user. So it has, of course, infinite possibilities in terms of add-ons, technology, and so on.
That's right. We are all different, and this is probably, from what I've also seen in my past experience, one of the best ways to create unified and liberated experience accessible to all the stakeholders, irrespective of their formation, whether they have a technical background, whether they understand the other types of documents or information that we use to share generally. But now, do you imagine going back to not having digital twins? Like going back to
No.
paper?
No, so as I said, the entire industry was based on print before, and it still is in majority, especially in other asset classes, and it's very difficult to imagine dealing with the challenges that we're dealing with every day, especially now with people sometimes being very remote from the market or from the city, and working only with print. It's so easy now to share with an entire group of people whom are not based in Bucharest or in Romania and are spread all across the globe, a space planning or a virtual tour, or a fit out suggestion, building layout, parking places, and all these things, accessibility with the car, pedestrian, with the tram, and so on. Now it just takes 5 minutes, you put it together and you just share to everyone. I can't imagine doing this, 5 years ago would have taken many PowerPoints and a lot of explaining during calls and so on, and the result would have not been the same. But I guess this is part of just the technology revolution that we're experiencing as a society.
Yeah, because BIM models, for example, were the operational digital twin. That's how we knew them for a while now. People were getting used to that, but that was so full of information, so heavy, so
Yes.
difficult to understand that it wasn't serving the commercial purposes, it wasn't democratized
Yes.
for everyone to access it. And now that it's evolved into the digital twin for commercial processes, it's only going to multiply the benefits and the way of use. Where do you think this could go forward towards? What would you be interested in seeing more from a
Of course, it's a race to adopt, first of all, better resolution with a faster loading time. Now that we have 5G, and I remember this was not available when we were first testing out the platform. I think it was more than 3 years ago, and I don't think we had 5G available at that time. It took a while on the mobile phone, for example. Now with 5G, it's instant, and the same goes for graphic resolution, graphic detail. I think, especially us, because we're very design driven, it would be amazing to see full details in terms of facade, in terms of finishings, interior space, and the textures of materials for carpet, furniture in the office, and all these things. And I'm sure it will get there. It's just a matter of time, because it gets better and better quarter to quarter in terms of how fast you can make the transitions, the 3D loading, and then resolution. So this is one aspect I would love to see, and I'm sure we'll get there. It's just a question of time. Another would be the adoption of AI in terms of picking up different requirements and building up simulated fit-outs. And again, I believe it's just a matter of time until you can access the platform and actually ask the platform to create a 3D model of a fit-out for you based on your needs, and then to edit it live in real time with an AI. I'm sure that will also save a lot of time instead of going back and forth with the team, which sometimes takes weeks in order to adjust, modify different either space plannings or 3D fit-outs.
Yeah, it's true. The first step was getting the space plan into a 3D immersive virtual tour, which obviously was a big help and shortening the decision time. Then naturally, with technology and development and automation, everything will be more and more enhanced. We will get that quality that you were talking about, and we will get, of course, the AI generated solutions as well. This is a constant, let's say, struggle or challenge for development teams to try and improve and use the speed that's been gained for the past few years to get to the next level. Let's talk about some other real estate technologies. What are the ones that you are excited about right now, or are thinking that they are vital for the development of the real estate market in particular?
By far the most exciting technology, which is going to completely radically change the commercial real estate market, especially high-rise buildings, is the adoption of solar panels, translucid solar panels within glass facades. So it's a technology under development for several years. It's getting there, so there are breakthroughs every year, and we already have almost transparent solar panels, which are basically integrated into glass, and probably in the next 2-3 years we are going to have the first fully transparent glass with a solar panel, or solar panel which is fully transparent, and then especially for high-rise buildings, when you are going to be able to use the entire surface, the entire glass, which is sometimes 80-90% of the above ground built area of an office building. When you are going to be able to use all that surface to generate electricity, it's going to be a big game changer, because for sure the buildings will become self-sufficient, 100% green, and this will definitely change the status quo of the buildings and of the commercial real estate sector itself. The geo-exchange solution, for example, is already doing this, because it's really an amazing breakthrough, being able to become almost fully self-sustainable in terms of energy consumption, and also not to depend on gas, even during winter. But for high-rise buildings, and in general for either residential or office buildings, it's more difficult to use solar panels, because you have so much equipment on the roof, and the roof is limited in terms of surface, that you can't really use it. But being able to use it in the glass, in the facade, is going to completely change the game.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I know there's research on that, and hopefully it will be implemented sooner rather than later. Coming back to your favorite topic, the office, and the future of the office, I know this gets asked a lot, because there's always, let's say, we can call it a controversy now, right? About whether will it thrive or what will happen to it. But how do you think that, what is the one thing that would make it thrive rather than fail, that you really need?
In my opinion, it just goes back to what I was saying earlier, sustainability and community. We've been very successful in building and delivering and filling up office buildings, even in the past 3 years, with the pandemic, with the war, and so on. I think one of the reasons why we were able to still attract occupiers within our buildings was the fact that we really put a lot of effort into delivering more than real estate, more than, let's say, brick and mortar. Actually delivering an experience or a community. This starts with very basic things, like making sure that the building is healthy, has a very nice and attractive design, is sustainable, and provides all the amenities, the basic amenities to start with, like restaurants, coffee shops, gym, swimming pool, and then going forward to a co-working, a conference center, supermarket, medical clinics, wellness services, kindergarten, school, and the list goes on and on. So when you're able to connect the two functions, office, residential, with retail amenities, which are really well thought out, not just let's say a layer of shops and restaurants. They have to be very well balanced, and they have to meet certain criteria and to take into account the occupier profile, the resident profile, and so on, in order to create the right mix for that right micro community that you get in that project. And if you're able to deliver this, I think people will come to the office, and I think they will be more efficient, and they will be more creative, and they will have less sick leave, and they will be more inclined to wellness activities and to actually living a better life, because this is in the end, this is what it's all about. So if you create the right environment, I'm very confident, based on our experience so far, that office can and will thrive.
Yeah. So creating comfort all around 24 hours for anything you might do there, live, work, shop, or
Exactly.
anything.
Yeah.
Tell me, to conclude, how do you imagine the future of One United's office division for the next 5 years, which we know is an interesting time?
Usually, real estate, if you have the right ingredients, is quite scalable as a business, especially commercial real estate. Nowadays, we are crossing a very challenging context. We had the pandemic, the war, high inflation, which generated high interest rates. For real estate development, high interest rates represent a big downturn. So this makes you think twice before actually starting to build, starting a new project. So as a general strategy, we aim to deliver about 20 to 25,000 square meters of prime office every year. And I think we kept to that rule. We actually delivered more in the past 4 years. But now we are taking a very conservative approach, mainly continuing to develop based on pre-leases and based on a very well thought out, very well planned structures before starting, in order to be able to rely on the costs, mainly cost for financing, cost for construction, but also to make sure the right income is there. So having the leases in place and having very good visibility on the entire picture. So probably next 5 years we'll bring another 120,000 square meters of office, either through acquisition or through development, which we of course prefer, but it also has to be, you know, the right the right environment, the right setting, right lease, and so on. But I'm moderate to optimist in regards to the office market in Bucharest and also in the CE. I think the CE is well positioned to emerge as a European leader, as a winner after the interest rates start coming down, yields start compressing again, and so on. I really believe that the region today has all the right arguments going in its favor in terms of economic growth, GDP per capita, unemployment rate, corporate profits, taxation, talent pool, and many other arguments which in the next 5 years will be very visible against more mature markets, which are going to be more affected by high interest rates and all the other, let's say, economical challenges.
Well, thanks for the insight, such a regional view. Well,
Thank
Mihai,
you.
it's been great having you here and talking to you again. And we're looking forward to doing this again sometime soon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And again, congratulations on the work that you're doing every day for the platform.
Happy to.